Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Chapter 16. Yang Mei was also dumbfounded looking at the swift panther who was sleeping like a kitten. It's only been a few days since I saw him. How did this kid become so strong? A Tier 2 beast has no resistance in his hands. It is easy to kill a Tier 2 beast, but it is not so difficult to capture a complete Tier 2 beast. Just like just now, a group of third-level supernatural beings had nothing to do around this second-level strange beast. What is your current supernatural realm? Don't tell me you have reached the second level. Yang Mei grabbed Su Ming's collar and asked. Her eyes shone with an inexplicable brilliance, and there was a faint fanaticism. Ahem. Director Yang, can you get in without relying on me? You are suppressing me. Ignoring the envious eyes of the commissioners around, Su Ming pointed to his chest and said, I have to admit that this woman's figure is really amazing. You tell me your realm first. First level intermediate. I also want to become second level, it's not that I don't have resources. While talking, Su Ming moved his position. Although the feeling was wonderful, it was embarrassing that there were so many people watching. Damn it. It's fake. A first level supernatural being. A second level supernatural beast has no resistance at all in his hands. To be so strong, at least it's an A-level ability, right? No wonder Director Yang values him so much. I remembered what you said. Didn't Xingcheng Middle School have an A-level unknown ability? Could it be him? Hearing that Su Ming was only at the first level, the surrounding alliance commissioners couldn't sit still. They all saw Su Ming's understatement when he picked up the alien beast just now, and they didn't take it seriously at all. This is the intermediate level. Your improvement speed is too exaggerated. Is this the advantage of high-level abilities? Yang Mei said in a daze. It has only been half a month since she was awakened, and others are still proficient in supernatural powers, so Su Ming has already advanced to a small level. Back at the research institute, Su Ming naturally had to go through a checkup. When he saw that the improvement of this guy's chi and blood was even more terrifying than the improvement of his abilities, even Yang Mei couldn't accept it. This kind of improvement speed is simply open. You must know that at a stage like Su Ming, there is no allocation of cultivation resources, and some students who can improve a small level at the beginning of school are excellent talents. Like Su Ming, not to mention that there will be no one in the future, anyway, there will be no one before. So you chose Modu University, right? If you say that, I'm going to apply for a transfer order from the higher-ups. After learning about Su Ming's recent situation, Yang Mei frowned slightly and said, it seems that she is going to go to the magic capital together. Are you going to the magic capital too? Nonsense. It's so hard for me to meet you as a research object. How can I just let go? I still want to rely on you to become famous in the world. By the way, this is for you, it is your reward for helping me capture strange beasts gone. As she said that, Yang Mei took out a piece of blue-purple crystal from the drawer beside her. Just by looking at it, she could feel that it contained a huge alien element. This is the Power Stone. Su Ming seemed to think of something, and asked with doubts. That's right, this is the Power Stone. In addition to capturing the strange beast this time, it is also to compensate you for your cooperation in the research. Since you have already killed the strange beast outside, you must have absorbed the crystal nucleus. Pay attention what's more, the alien molecules in the alien beast crystal nucleus are refined by alien beasts and can be absorbed at will. But the Power Stone is different, because the purity is different. When using those Power Stones with a lot of impurities, you must pay attention to refining before absorbing, so as not to destroy your own power. Yang Mei reminded that Su Ming has already sensed this point. Compared with the crystal nucleus, the total number of molecules of this Power Stone is indeed much higher, but there are many indescribable things in it besides the alien molecules. Phew. I live in a small home, but this stability and warmth can't be changed. It's still comfortable in my own nest. After returning home, Su Ming took a shower and fell on the bed. Although meditation will restore physical strength and spirit, it is not sleep after all. After so long of high-intensity training outside, he also wanted to relax completely. Only by combining work and rest can we get twice the result with half the effort. As soon as he lay down, the phone started to vibrate. When he picked it up, he saw that it was Zhao Peng calling. The predecessor had a good relationship with this classmate, and he took good care of himself in school. Although he was very angry, it was not easy to explode directly. Brother Ming, you finally answered the phone. What have you been doing during this time? As soon as the connection was made, the other party's thankful voice sounded, and Su Ming was completely baffled. Even if he hadn't seen each other for a few days, there was no need to do so. There is something wrong with the research institute. Maybe the signal has been blocked. What's the matter? Su Ming lied. Because of the strange beast, there is no mobile phone signal in the wild, and you can only make calls when you are close to the city, unless you use satellite communication. It's a big trouble. Don't you know that since the supernatural universities from all over the country came to our school that day, the supernatural people from the surrounding high schools have come one by one? I'm following you. Zhao Pengyi explained the matter clearly in a few words. The so-called unique beauty in the forest, the wind will destroy it. There are so many high schools in Star City, but Su Ming has an A-level ability. No matter what the purpose is, everyone wants to come and experience it. The so-called communication, in this day and age, naturally cannot be an academic exchange. It is about going to the ring to fight. From Zhao Peng's emotions, it is not difficult to see that Xingcheng Middle School is probably at a disadvantage. Wait for me, I just got home and I'm going to school right away. Okay. When you come over, you must kill their arrogance. These days, they are almost judging people with their nostrils. Fortunately, my residence is not far from the school, and it usually takes about 10 minutes to walk, but I can get there in a few minutes by using space teleportation. There is no need to find someone to ask about the situation. As soon as they see Su Ming, people who know him will take the initiative to lead the way. People from other schools are arrogant in their own school. Who can bear it? Especially high school students or high-spirited age. What's going on these days? It was a classmate in the class who led Su Ming, probably arranged by Zhao Peng. After all, he had just spoken on the phone. Don't talk about it. These three schools, Chung'an Middle School, Sports High School and Vocational High School, come here once a day. They all awakened good sea-level abilities this year. Lu Yi and the others were able to parry at the beginning, but they were suppressed and beaten later. Sometimes the abilities consumed yesterday have not been recovered, and they have to go on stage to continue to communicate, and the three schools are clearly bullying people. Oh, this is an imbalance in my heart. I want to step on our school's face. If one school challenges and communicates with three schools, it will be hell if it doesn't suffer. Who says it's not? But they have a lot of families, and every time they change people to challenge, the principal and the others have no excuse to shirk. After all, there have been such exchanges in previous years. During the conversation, Su Ming had already arrived at the school's stadium. Because the battle of supernatural beings spread far and wide, the arena for communication had to be in a place with a large space. Chapter 17. Bastard. Don't run away if you have the ability, and fight me for real. In a divided area of the stadium, Li Ming was sweating profusely, looked at a student not far away with an ugly expression and shouted. Li Ming's awakened talent is D-level, so it stands to reason that this kind of communication between students has no chance to play. But the problem is that the people in Xingcheng Middle School have gone through a few days of wheel battles, and all the people with C-level abilities can't stand it anymore. In addition, Li Ming's qi and blood training has reached the peak of the first level. After all, his family has money, so the resources for qi and blood training can still be provided. He was fighting against students from the sports school with C-level sealed elemental abilities, and the people who came out of the sports school had blood levels that were not comparable to other schools. Although it is only a first-level intermediate cultivator, but adding a C-level first-level low-level supernatural power, the actual combat ability is not as simple as 1 plus 1. Although Li Ming has the strength of a first-order advanced cultivator, but because he has no supernatural powers, he is played around by the opponent, and he can't touch the corner of the opponent's clothes at all. Hey, I don't want to be punched by your first-level advanced cultivation strength. Besides, speed is part of my strength. Is it my fault that you can't keep up? The other party smiled and raised his hand to shoot a light blue wind blade. The Alliance can provide free of charge such a combat skill that transforms it into a physical attack based on the supernatural attribute. Like the wind blade of the wind system, the fireball of the fire system, and the high-pressure water flow of the water system, the skills contained in these combat skills are not high, and the essence is to maximize the attributes of the supernatural power. which can be used as a means of attack, and can also speed up the familiarity of abilities. But for Li Ming, this kind of wind blade can't be ignored. Before the cultivator crosses the chi and blood and unleashes the slash, he can only use his own body whether it is attacking or defending. No matter how weak the power of the wind blade is, it is also a supernatural combat skill. If you are hit, not to mention missing arms or legs, seeing red is inevitable. After all, before the 4th level, the superhumans had an innate advantage over the cultivators. Facing the attacks of the 1st and 2nd level supernatural beings, the 3rd level cultivators couldn't ignore them. This is not to say that the supernatural beings will always overwhelm the practitioners, it's just that in the early stage, the supernatural beings have a great advantage, and it's actually the same later on. Oh, Principal Zhao, is there no one in your school? Letting a practitioner with D-level abilities come on stage, isn't that making him a sandbag? In the stands of the gymnasium, the teacher of the sports school said with a smile, but Principal Zhao beside him was full of helplessness. The 3 high schools teamed up to target Xingcheng Middle School. When the teachers couldn't intervene, the students would be damned if they could stand it. If Su Ming was there, the situation might be better. After all, it is an A-level ability, but this guy can't be contacted for some reason. Principal Zhao, don't worry, we have ordered the boys below, we won't do anything to death, at most it's a skin trauma, just rest for a few days and you'll be fine. The teacher of the vocational high school also joked that this year Star City High School has an A-level ability, and it is impossible to say that it is not envious, especially before the 4 famous schools came to recruit students, which made Star City High School's statement soar. One can imagine the enrollment in the second half of the year. Star City High School is overcrowded. The 3 high schools joined forces to target Xingcheng High School, just to suppress Xingcheng's momentum. They have never won a game in the school exchanges, and even if they have A-level abilities, they will be disgraced. By then, how many students will come? It's hard to say. Sun Sansi, don't dawdle, end the battle quickly, the people in the south of the city can't wait. Wang Qi, the leader of the sports school, said lightly that both have C-level abilities, and there are differences in their strengths and weaknesses. Being able to become the leader, and even give orders to Sun Sansi, who has elemental abilities, this person's abilities are absolutely extraordinary. Okay, I still want to play more. I thought how good your Star City High School is, but it turned out to be nothing but boring. After finishing speaking, Sun Sansi began to exert his strength, and in an instant, a strong wind blew up on the ring, and the wind blades changed their trajectories as they rotated, hitting Li Ming in all directions. My day. Li Ming couldn't help but let out a strange cry, it was such a pain in his heart. This is the case with elemental abilities. If you can't resist it, you basically can't avoid it completely. There are wind blades in all directions, and there is no retreat at all. Go home and rest. Don't even think about going out for a stroll before school starts. Sun Sansi said with a cheeky smile. 60 days of recuperation can also be referred to as a few days of recuperation. But soon the smile on his face froze, because Li Ming's figure suddenly disappeared from the ring, and several wind blades slashed together, canceling each other out. This is. Su Ming is here. No mistake, this hand space teleportation is really too familiar. It's all right now, I can finally shut up those guys, let's see how arrogant they are. You can't say that. Su Ming's ability is strong, but there are so many opponents. After the wheel battle, Su Ming will not be able to handle it. The sudden change made everyone stunned for a moment. After the people of Star City High School realized it, they cheered immediately. As for the people from the 3 schools, after learning about the situation, they couldn't help but look serious. Although they have been belittling Star City High School and Su Ming by the way, no one would underestimate the A-level ability. Don't look, I will help him admit defeat, and I will fight you next. Just when everyone was looking for Su Ming, he appeared on the ring. This method of coming and going without a trace immediately made Sun Sansi feel the pressure. His wind ability is fast, but compared with others, it is simply incomparable. Is he Su Ming? The feeling is really extraordinary. As soon as he appeared on the stage, he felt oppressive. Cut. There is nothing to be afraid of. Even if it is an A-level ability, it has only been awakened for a few days. They are all first-level ability users, so I can't go anywhere. That's right, we've been here for a few days, and we haven't seen this guy come out. He's been a turtle for so long, so there's nothing to be afraid of. The students from the 3 schools whispered that some people are taking Su Ming seriously, but some people don't take Su Ming seriously. I don't know if the belittling of the past few days has made them believe what they said. Hehe, you're Su Ming, right? You just fought once in March and 4th, and your powers are almost exhausted. As a celebrity in Star City, you shouldn't take advantage of others' danger, right? Wang Qi stepped forward and said, ready to signal Sun Sansi to come down and go up by himself. It's okay, it doesn't matter if he doesn't get down, you 3 from the school come together. I'm in a hurry, I don't have time to come with so many of you one by one. Su Ming pointed in the direction of the 3 schools and said in a flat tone. As soon as these words came out, there was an uproar in the audience. No matter whether it was Star City High School or the 3 schools, no one could sit still. Chapter 18. Damn it. Su Ming's words are so domineering. Su Ming is awesome. Come on, kill these little bastards, let them be defiant, let them be weird, beat them until they can't take care of themselves. Although I feel that Su Ming is very arrogant, but I have to say that it is really exciting. On the side of Star City High School, because of Su Ming's understatement, the whole momentum has risen, which is completely different from before. If it weren't for some reason, I'm afraid some impatient people would start beating up if they randomly grabbed someone from another school. What an arrogant guy, do you really take yourself seriously? To challenge everyone in our 3 schools at the same time, each of us can drown him with a mouthful of saliva. It's too contemptuous of people. Is A-level ability great? Everyone's realm is similar, how much worse than you? The people from the 3 schools suddenly became furious. From Su Yu's tone and demeanor, they saw a kind of contempt, as if the other party didn't care about themselves and others at all. They are all young and frivolous, how can this be tolerated? Everyone is filled with righteous indignation and wants to go up and do something. Principal Zhao, this student in your school is too arrogant, right? In the stands, Principal Zhao and others were also surprised. Although it is impossible for all the people from the 3 schools to come, basically all of them are C-level abilities. There must be a dozen of them in total, and those who can be sent by the school to communicate, the strength will not be bad. It's quite difficult for Su Ming to fight against so many first-level abilities at the same time. Su Ming, self-confidence is indeed a good character, but overconfidence is conceited, and it will become a joke if it is not done properly. Wang Qi said angrily. No matter how he is also the strongest existence in the school. Being underestimated like this, anger will not be less. The higher a person stands, the more he can't see his authority being ignored. Do you think I'm joking? You are also personalities in your respective schools. If you want to come to the school, you may promise to give you some conditions. I don't want to fight with you for nothing. How about a lottery? You lose, I want the scholarship. If I lose, you will take this power stone away. Su Ming took out the power stone that Yang Mei gave him and said, immediately attracting everyone's attention. For them at this stage, the ability stone is definitely a rare commodity, the kind that has never been seen before. It seems that the other party has tens of millions of scholarships for a dozen or so individuals, but if you really want to say, the value of the power stone is definitely more than this amount, it is a priceless thing. Damn it. Power stone. Not to mention the students, even the teachers in the stands are sore, they only go so fast throughout the year, and I can't bear to use them. Who would have thought that Su Ming, who had not awakened his power for a few days, would have a power stone in his hand, and it seemed that the purity was quite high. Is this the treatment of high-intensity power awakeners? It's too sour to be provided with the power stone as soon as you wake up. Needless to say, the students were even more sour than drinking a few bowls of vinegar. Okay, we've made a bet. But I won't bully you, just besiege you, I'll meet you first, remember, my name is. I'm not interested in the names of passers-by. Besides, are your ears missing? I said, let you go together. Su Ming interrupted Wang Qi's words with a wave of his hand, and the spatial ability was activated instantly. The surrounding space began to squeeze against Wang Qi, and a huge force descended on him. In an instant, Wang Qi, who was still high-spirited, knelt on the ground with one knee. The people around him didn't get any benefits either. Although they weren't targeted at them, they were too close to Wang Qi, and there was a lot of pressure on their bodies, and they all bent over. Pick up my ears. Repeat what I just said. At this time, Su Ming's figure was tall and straight, with a little majesty on his young face, like a superior, full of oppression. Of course, the oppression of other people is psychological, and the oppression of this group of people in the sports school is psychological and physical. What's the situation? Why did Wang Qi kneel down for him? It's not right. The posture of the group of people in the sports school is not right, they seem to be suppressed by some force. Then shall we do it? Chang'an and the vocational school couldn't sit still. Although they didn't want to besiege Su Ming because of their face, they couldn't refuse the temptation of the Power Stone. But now the changes in the sports school made them a little entangled. They didn't even see how the other party made a move. The 6 supernatural beings in the sports school were recruited. If they went up one by one, they might be crushed pressure. What are you struggling with? Didn't you understand what I just said? Pick up your ears. After suppressing the group of people from the sports school, Su Ming turned his head to look at Chang'an and the vocational school. The relaxed nature made people understand one thing. It's not a joke to fight against 3 schools alone. Go. The opponent's ability is too strong. Wang Qi and the others can't fight. The leader of Chang'an High School gritted his teeth and said that he led people to start besieging Su Ming, and the vocational school also started operations. For the Power Stone, it is worth it even if it is too shameful to bully more. All of a sudden, 4 or 5 elements of different colors attacked Su Ming. I have to say that the strength of this group of people is still good. There are 5 elemental abilities, which still excludes the number of sports schools. This level of elemental attack is ineffective against me. Gently clenching his right hand forward, the space around Su Ming instantly distorted. He stood in place without moving a step, and all the elemental attacks flew up, down, left, and right, all avoiding him. What? I clearly aimed at his. With my familiarity with the ability, it is impossible to miss it at such a distance. Otherwise, why do you think my ability is A-level? The leader of Chang'an said in disbelief, and in the next second Su Ming appeared in front of him, raised his hand and punched, and his 2 teeth drew a perfect arc in the air. Long-range combat skills are useless to him, besiege him in close combat. Because when attacking others, the space suppression on the sports school and others disappeared, and Wang Qi, who had regained his freedom, shouted loudly. Close combat. Do you think I'll let you guys approach me? Did you forget your experience playing tricks on my schoolmates? Very abruptly, Su Ming appeared in front of Wang Qi with a backhand slap. The strength of a first-order advanced practitioner is not uncomfortable at all. With the strength of Wang Qi and others, they can basically only lie on the ground after being touched. Seeing this scene, Sun Sansi subconsciously wanted to stay away from Su Ming. After all, he was the one who played with Li Ming just now, and it was impossible for Su Ming to say that he was not afraid. But as soon as he turned around, he was slapped in the face. Run. Your speed is in front of me, it's like a snail's speed. I don't know if Su Ming did it on purpose. With this slap, he just slapped Sun Sansi to Li Ming's side. As for what will happen, it is out of his control. Hey, they're all leaning together. Then just stand there obediently and don't move. I'll take you to see Duke Zhou. Space Confinement. Chapter 19. Although they are all first-order supernatural beings, it is impossible for Wang Qi and others to break Su Ming's spatial confinement. Not to mention that there is a gap in strength between them, even the suppression of abilities makes them powerless. The next thing was very simple. Su Ming walked slowly towards those people, each with a big bag, flying as far as he could. Of course, he also kept his hand. There must be no human life, and then there are a few girls with faces full of collagen. I am really embarrassed to do it, just use space bombs to fly. Several teachers are here, and I have seen what happened just now. The principal has my bank card number. Remember to send me the money. Su Ming turned his head and shouted towards the stands. Tens of millions of funds can give him a good set of sea-level weapons, so he can't just let it go. In front of so many people from the 4 schools, they would not renege on their debts, otherwise the 3 schools would still run schools like this. As for whether they directly deduct the scholarships of these students, or provide another one, that is not something Su Ming should worry about. At this moment, the people around are still dumbfounded, and they have not recovered from their senses at all. Too strong. It's really too strong. Anyone can see that Su Ming didn't use his full strength at all, and he didn't even use any aggressive fighting skills except for using his fists. It's just that the characteristic of using one's own abilities lies in its maneuvers, but even so, it is still a crushing victory. Is this the power of A-level abilities? It's way beyond your peers. Su Ming is mighty. He's so majestic. This person is a big rival. It's fun. It's fun. Let you be so proud that you are lying on the ground like this now. That's right. Didn't you clamor for Su Ming to come out before? Now he is here. Don't pretend to be a grandson. Get up and keep going. The students around were muttering. Now it's the turn of the three schools to be embarrassed, so many people besieged one person, and in the end, he was beaten to the ground with a big bidu. How could he have the face to argue with others? Before, no one would have thought that there would be such a big gap between the same first-order abilities, but the fact is that there is no way to believe it. After a while, Principal Zhao and others came to the ring. The teachers from the three schools naturally went to check on the situation of their students. After all, these people were still lying on the ground. However, Su Ming kept his hand. Although he was unconscious, he didn't hurt his vitals, but looking at the palm prints on his face, he probably couldn't change his expression too much in a short time. You, at least be restrained in the communication situation, look at all of them unconscious. Seeing the ugly faces of the teachers in the three schools, Principal Zhao reprimanded Su Ming. Ahem. Principal, I have already kept my hands. Otherwise, I can slap these people's heads off with a single slap because of their physical fitness. Su Ming coughed twice and said, immediately making the teachers of the three schools lose face. You single-handedly selected people from our three schools, but it turned out to be the result of you letting go of the sea. Is there such a thing as a blow to people? How bloody are you? Principal Zhao was taken aback. He could see clearly just now that although Su Ming's ability was used, it was all restraining those students and did not exert a destructive effect. It was all physical strength that made these people fall to the ground. First level advanced, and after the battle just now, I feel that the blood in my body is surging, and I'm afraid I'm about to break through. Hiss. You are such a monster. Okay, come to my office later. The principal took a deep breath, and complained with a little emotion, that he had awakened the A-level ability, and as a result, the cultivation of chi and blood was much faster. This is not letting others live. Who did it? Who did this? Suddenly, a furious voice sounded, instantly attracting everyone's attention. I saw the teacher of the sports school squatting beside Sun Sansi, his face twitching. Looking at Sun Sansi again, even Su Ming took a cold breath. The joints of the two hands and the joints of the two legs were twisted into twists. Although there is no broken bone, but with such dislocation of joints, I am afraid that I will not be able to move freely in a few months. Let me declare first, you have seen the battle teacher just now, I did not do this. Su Ming said quickly, seeing the teacher's furious appearance, he didn't want to be troubled by others. Of course, this matter cannot be pinned on Su Ming's head. After all, Su Ming's actions just now are simple and intuitive. But at that time, everyone's attention was on Su Ming's side. No one really paid attention to what happened to Sun Sansi. Hey, playing with me, I really think that my young master is made of mud. I am a rich second generation, so why don't you show some rich second generation temperament? Li Ming's face remained unchanged and he thought that he didn't know if it was Su Ming's intention for Sun Sansi to fall beside him, but since he met him, he couldn't let it go for nothing. After some arguments, the students of the three schools also woke up, and naturally they had no face to stay here at Xingcheng High School. Amid Sun Sansi's wailing, the group left in embarrassment. Su Ming, you did a good job this time. Don't worry, I will keep an eye on the bet of the three schools for you, and they will not renege on it. But you can't bet with energy stones in the future. This thing is precious. The degree is not comparable to a few dollars. If you are short of money, I can help you solve it. The headmaster said cheerfully that he was suppressed by the three schools during this period, and even he was holding his breath in his heart. Su Ming suppressed the three schools by himself. Not only did the students feel refreshed, but Principal Zhao also felt proud. Hey, I don't have confidence in myself. But Principal, I'll leave the bet to you. I'm going to give myself a set of sea-level weapons, so that I can have more confidence when I'm practicing outside. Su Ming smiled and said that he understood a truth. If he wanted to get resources quickly, he had to gather wool from the strange beasts. Experience. Don't do stupid things. Your future is bright, so don't lose yourself. If you really want to go out and see blood, you must tell me and I will accompany you. Hearing this, Principal Zhao was taken aback, for fear that Su Ming, a stunned young man, would go out alone. Although I really want to tell the principal that I have seen blood, but seeing how old he is, it is better not to frighten him. Even though he is a fourth-order supernatural user, is the thing frightened? After chatting for a few words, Su Ming left the school. To be honest, it doesn't make much sense for him to stay in the school now. It would be more practical to go to the research institute to find Yang Mei. Eye-catching is secondary, mainly because there are strange beasts there to practice with, and now that he has the Power Stone in his hand, his blood has also become surging due to the battle. He needs a relatively safe and stable environment to make a breakthrough. Although he was able to fight against a group of supernatural beings by himself just now, Su Ming will not be so arrogant that he is invincible at his age. As one of the 4 famous universities in Shanghai, it is impossible for him to be the only student with A-level abilities. If he wants to search for resources there, his strength is not enough, he must become stronger. Chapter 20. Knowing that Su Ming was going to make a breakthrough in the research institute, although Yang Mei was surprised, she handled things very efficiently and quickly arranged a quiet room for him. Considering that Su Ming's ability will affect the space, the quiet room is also specially made. Although I don't know if it will work or not, the specifications still look good. This is a first-order body training potion, which can stimulate the circulation of qi and blood and provide alien molecules at the same time. However, because it is extracted from the blood of alien animals, the effect of the medicine is relatively violent, and a little pain is inevitable. It can be regarded as my personal sponsorship to you, Gon. Yang Mei handed a small bottle of the reagent to Su Ming and said, in fact, with Su Ming's current qi and blood condition, it's a matter of course, and the existence of the medicine is dispensable. However, if there is medicine, it can keep the energy and blood in a state of energy saturation during the promotion process, not to mention increasing the success rate, but also have a more solid foundation for energy and blood cultivation. Thank you, Sister Mei, and please tell the rest of the research institute not to come near my quiet room. It's okay to break through with energy and blood. The main reason is that there will be a lot of movement when the ability breaks through. Su Ming did not refuse Yang Mei's kindness, he could almost figure out what this woman was thinking. Although it is said that most people in the research institutes have to give face, but this is only out of respect for the research on supernatural powers. In fact, these researchers do not have much honor. After leaving the research institute, she is nothing. Yang Mei's being so polite to herself now is completely a potential investment. One day she can become a big boss, or even sit on the throne, then she will be able to rise with the tide. You can break through with peace of mind. I've already banned it here, as long as you don't want to tear down the research institute, it's not a big problem. After saying that, Su Ming walked into the quiet room, pressed the switch, and a bathtub emerged from the ground. After pouring the potion into the water, Su Ming soaked his whole body in it. As soon as he touched the potion, he felt a burning sensation, and at the same time, the blood flow in the blood vessels also accelerated. In less than 5 minutes, mist rose from his body, and the dull heartbeat became the only sound Su Ming could hear. Qi and blood are hot, the heart is the source as the furnace, it is the source of all the power of qi and blood. Every time the heart beats vigorously, Su Ming can feel the temperature of his blood rise, and he can also feel that the blood is undergoing some kind of transformation in the process of each temperature rise. After the blood has circulated an unknown number of times, the beating frequency of the heart slows down. Although the speed is slowed down, the amount of blood delivered by each beating increases, and the energy that the blood can carry also becomes stronger. Call. Su Ming spat out a puff and slowly opened his eyes. The breakthrough of qi and blood is much simpler than I imagined. It seems that the mysterious pressure has tempered my body a lot. Generally speaking, breakthroughs in qi and blood cultivation are often accompanied by pain, and it is not rare for Su Ming to get through it so easily, it can be said to be completely impossible. Breaking through to the second level is so simple, it can only be said that his body has already reached the level of a second-level cultivator, so when faced with the improvement of qi and blood, he will not respond much, and the body can do this step, the stress is a big part of it. In addition, Su Ming also found that when qi and blood are running, mental power also provides a part of the boost, making the running speed faster. The human body is really amazing. Mental power and chi and blood are the original power of the body. They are of the same origin. Perhaps the cultivation of chi and blood and spiritual power also have a crucial connection. Su Ming guessed, but what is the situation needs to be further confirmed. The next step is the ability. I don't know if this ability stone can make me a second-level ability user. Take out the power stone, Su Ming said softly. The speed of cultivating supernatural powers is not as fast as that of chi and blood. One reason is that resources are precious, and chi and blood can accumulate energy by eating different animal meat. Although the alien beast crystal nucleus can also provide alien molecules with supernatural powers, but the alien beast is based on the alienation of the body after all, and the equivalent of alien molecules in the crystal nucleus is pitifully small. Under normal circumstances, no one would choose to absorb the crystal nucleus of an alien beast to improve their abilities. The crystal nucleus of a sixth-order alien beast contains the equivalent of alien molecules, and there is no difference between the crystal nucleus of a first-order alien beast, big. The value of the high-level alien crystal core is mainly reflected in its special attributes, which are the main materials for making high-level weapons. Therefore, in most cases, the alien crystal nucleus is an exchange resource between the supernatural beings, which is similar to the nature of currency. If you want to improve your powers, you only need meditation and power stones, but even if Su Ming has a space to hang, the speed of improvement is still unsatisfactory. Time passed day by day, and since the door of the quiet room where Su Ming was closed, there has been no movement. However, a number of offices have been removed from the research institute, because for some reason, the closer to the quiet room, the greater the pressure on people, as if the gravity has been lifted. Moreover, some experimental equipment and documents also showed signs of being cut and folded. For safety reasons, people had to be moved out. Who is retreating here? With such a big commotion, the dean has personally come to guard it. I don't know, it seems to be Director Yang's research object, and he has been in it for more than 20 days. I don't know what kind of ability it is. A breakthrough retreat forced us to transfer a group of companies, at least B level or above. This area has become a restricted area. Yang Mei and the director of the Research Institute personally guarded the door, just for fear that someone might break in by mistake. They don't want to get a corpse that has been cut into several sections. Looking at the situation, the little guy's retreat is coming to an end. The dean exhaled and said, as a sixth-level power user, although the space power is weird, he can still sense something. As soon as the voice fell, straight cracks appeared on the wall of the quiet room, and then burst open. The fragments of the wall did not scatter in all directions, but turned into dust in a burst of silver light, and all disappeared. Damn it. Luckily, I'm fast, this space force field is so f-king hard to control. Seeing this situation, the faces of the dean and Yang Mei couldn't help but change. Just as they were about to go into check, they heard Su Ming's voice from behind. Although he was in a bit of a mess and his clothes had turned into strips of cloth, fortunately, there was nothing wrong with him. What's the situation? How did you break through like this? Yang Mei took off her research coat and handed it to Su Ming, asking. Don't talk about it. I mastered a new ability after my supernatural breakthrough. I wanted to develop combat skills, but I almost gave it away to myself. This thing is too fierce. Putting on the coat, Su Ming couldn't help but smiled wryly, but when he saw the word, Dimension Smash, in the system skill bar, he was still in a good mood. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.